Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DFS cookout for UFC Perth. In this video, I'm going to show you every single one of my DFS plays that I have on this Saturday's card. I will also give you a bonus money line parlay bet that currently sits at plus money odds. And lastly, I'll let you know where you can get every single one of my bets on Saturday's card, whether it's a money line, a parlay, a random prop bet, a round prop bet, or just take a look at all the DFS plays there absolutely for free. But before we get into the plays, I got to give you a little bit of a history lesson, because if you're a returning viewer to the channel, you know you always want to tell the daily fantasy plays. But I got to, get the people that aren't really informed on it just an idea of how impactful these plays can be. So 2 years ago, I put a video out on this very YouTube channel when I discovered the success that I was having with these player props in the daily fantasy market. I put that video out. I had to take it down because one of the apps that I was playing on is no longer available. So I didn't want other people to go to that app and sign up to it. And I took it down because one of the apps that I was playing on went out of business. So I didn't want people to go up there and deposit their money in that. But I discovered this about 2 years ago, and I've had a lot of success. So the DFS cookout, what is daily fantasy? It's basically significant strike props, takedown props. They got other stuff, but you're going to choose higher or lower on the significant strike props. That's usually what we do. And if you get it correct, then you win. And you got to pair at least two together. So we've been playing on Underdog, Sleeper, Betr picks, and possibly a couple more to come. We'll see. But these have been the main spots that we've been doing it. And over those last 2 years, or at least since the beginning of 2024, we're positive 123.10 units on 2-pick entries alone. So we've been making a ton of money on 2-pick entries alone. They're 3x payouts every time you hit them. And then as I was winning a bunch of these, I was like, why don't we go for some bigger payouts? Because we've been sweeping a lot of these cards. And what ended up happening is we hit a lot of them in 2024. We won a 20x here, a 99x, and we've hit multiple of those in 2024. And in 2024, if you just put 1 unit on all the long shot plays that I gave out, you would be 173. You'd be up 173 units. So 173 extra money in 2024 from those long shots. And this year, we've had close to the same amount of success that we did in 2024, but the year's not over. So we might have even more success. Here's some of those slips that we've hit as far as the long shots go. And this year, we're positive 140.82 units if you put 1 unit on every single one of the long shots in 2025. And the disgusting part about it, 19 of those long shots that missed were by 1 leg. They were by 1 leg. So obviously, you're going to miss, stuff. You're going to miss parlays by 1 leg. It's part of the game. But if you just factor in hitting those 19 long shots that we missed by 1 leg, we'd be up over 1,000 units. So when I tell you the success that I've had on these daily fantasy apps, I show this to you to give you some incentive to be like, come on, like there's clearly something here that we've made a ton of money on. And when I saw it 2 years ago, I saw this is an untapped edge in the UFC betting community that I think we can take advantage of, and we have. So if you're not on these apps, I severely encourage you to get on these apps. Or if you're not living in one of the available states, look for some strike prop markets that are available to you. There's a lot out there. DraftKings usually has them. Caesars Sportsbook usually has them. They're out there. Go look for them because we can take advantage of them. So let's get into the plays. All that aside, we got to look at the plays for UFC Perth. We're starting with the Underdog Plays. If you're in one of these highlighted states, download the Underdog app. Use code HeyJob. Get your deposit bonus up to $1,000. There's a link down in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen right there. We only have 1 Underdog play this week because we're getting better payouts on other apps. More competition is great for us. The more competition there is, the more apps that we can use that means they have to give us more incentive to play on those apps. So that's why Underdog ain't getting a lot of the money this week, because there wasn't as much incentive to play on that app. So we only got one play on Underdog. It's the 5-legger to win 20x. We got Michelle Montague, lower than 62.5. She's going to go in there against Luana Carolina looking to grapple. Luana Carolina doesn't absorb that many significant strikes, and this is Michelle Montague's UFC debut. There's no strike data on her, so they kind of just got to take a guess on her, and I think it's a terrible guess. I think she's probably going to be close to finishing at like maybe 20, 30 significant strikes, so I really like this lower than 62.5 for Michelle Montague. There's high upside for the fight to end early as well if Montague gets that submission victory. Lower than 59.5 on Oban Elliott. Oban, not a super high volume striker. McAuliffe pretty much striked the entire time against Kevin Jousset in his last fight. And Jousset, I think, landed in the 60s in that fight. Went 15 minutes. There was no grappling. Jousset is also a high volume guy. So, I mean, this is probably Oban Elliott's peak. If this fight goes 15 minutes and Oban Elliott and McAuliffe just stand there and strike, Oban's probably going to get around 60. So basically, we're leaving ourselves a ton of upside for the fight to end early, for there to be grappling, for maybe Oban Elliott is the guy that engages in the grappling too. So we have grappling upside, and we also have the fight to end early as well, because they're expecting this to go 15 minutes. Loma Luke Bume, lower than 49.5. She's not a super high volume striker. She's taking on Alexa Tainara. I think there's going to be grappling in this one. There could be an early finish. I don't really foresee it, but she's also at a significant reach disadvantage, and she's not a girl that really throws a ton of combinations. So, I mean, the number at 49.5, I think is a little bit high. I think it should be about 35, maybe 39, somewhere around there. So I think 49.5 is good. Jake Matthews, lower than 49.5. Neil Magny's hit this in like 6 of his last 7 fights. And I'm pretty sure, or Neil Magny's opponents have hit this in 6 of his last 7 fights. And the only guy that went over was Ian Gary. And Ian Gary pretty much just beat the piss out of him for 3 full rounds. And there was no grappling. It went 15 minutes, and Ian Gary was basically fighting a punching bag. So I think Jake Matthews is probably going to be able to land some big shots. But Neil Magny's not a guy that absorbs many significant strikes. There's upside for an early finish. There's also upside for grappling. So I like that on Jake Matthews, lower than 49.5 there. And then we got Jack Jenkins higher than 54.5. Ramon Tavares absorbs over 7 significant strikes per minute. Obviously, if Jack Jenkins wants to just wrestle with him, probably not going to hit. But I don't really see him going in there being dominant with the wrestling. I see him going in there competing in the striking. You know, I think the striking might be a little bit competitive, but I think Jack Jenkins is going to be able to hit him a ton while they're on the feet. So this fight's expected to go 15 minutes. I could probably see it going 15 minutes. But even if it gets into the later stages of round 2, I think he probably, racks up 30 significant strikes a round, honestly, because Ramon Tavares is that hittable. So I like the higher there for Jack Jenkins. 5 correct wins 20x on Underdog. Lock that in with the link down in the description below. Then we'll get into the sleeper picks play. So sleeper has really come around as far as the UFC daily fantasy edge goes, because we were using Underdog and Betr picks, and now sleeper has been a nice contributor because they're giving us better payouts and similar lines. So let's take a look at it. If you're in one of these light purple states, you can download Sleeper. There's a link down in the description below. Use code HeyJob to get that deposit bonus. This week, we put in the 8-pick entry on Sleeper Picks because we're getting 122.29x payout. So that's the best payout we could get. Of course, we want to play for the best payouts. Jack Jenkins higher, Jake Matthews lower. We talked about that. Rodolfo Bellato lower than 44.5. I think the fight's probably got to end within the first 2 rounds for this to hit, but also have to factor in Navajo Sterling's not a guy that absorbs many significant strikes. He's been 15 minutes his last 2 fights, and both of his opponents landed less than this in fights that were mainly stand-up fights, not a ton of grappling, and he still went 15 minutes, and his opponents went lower than 44.5. Bellato is the guy that pressures forward. I really think Navajo probably knocks him out. So I think we have a lot of upside for early finish there. We also have upside for grappling. So there's a lot of reasons to like Bellato lower there at 44.5. Loma Luke Boonmay lower than 49.5. Montague lower Oban lower. Petrosky lower than 31.5. He's going to be at a significant reach disadvantage. He's not a guy that really lets his hands go. He's not a high-volume guy. I think there's probably going to be a lot of grappling here as well. I think Petrosky's going to be looking to get that grappling going. We also have upside for an early finish there. Petrosky just doesn't let his hands go. He throws a decent amount of kicks, but I think Cam Rowson's going to be winning the kicking exchange, so I think Petrosky's going to look to grapple here. Could also get knocked out as well. Justin Tafa lower than 25.5. I don't think, he's not a high-volume guy at all. I think he's only been over this twice in his, 8 or 9 fight UFC career. So we have a lot of upside for an early finish there. If Justin Tafa finishes him, it's probably in round 1, probably knocks him out. Louis Sutherland, if he wants to win, he's probably going to be looking to grapple here. And if he's going to be grappling up Justin Tafa, then Tafa's not going to be landing any significant strikes. So it's a lower number, but I do think we have a ton of upside for early finish, and Tafa's not a high-volume guy. So there's your 8-legger to win 122.29x. Then we got the 2-pick entry here. We got Jenkins and Montague paired together. I love both of those. And then we got Petrosky and Justin Tafa both lower paired up for a 3.2x payout and a 3.1x payout, which are way better than you're going to get from Underdog and Betr picks. That's why we use sleeper picks, because we get a better payout for the same line. Why would you not? You got to have multiple apps. The best thing that you can do to win in sports betting or daily fantasy is to have as many options as possible. Why would you play? Just think about it from a money line perspective. Why would you play Dominic Reyes on the money line at plus 200 on FanDuel? I'm not saying this is what it is, but why would you play Dominic Reyes plus 200 on the money line on FanDuel when you can get it at plus 210 on DraftKings Sportsbook? So you got to have multiple options. That's why we use multiple options. That's why we use sleeper picks. Link down in the description below. Use code HeyJive if you don't have it yet to get your deposit bonus. Now, before we get into the Betr picks plays to round us out, I got to tell you, if you want all my bets on this Saturday's card, not only the DFS plays, but you're going to get my money line bets, my parlays, my straight wagers, my props, my round prop bets, all that. You could get all that in the HomoFi Picks Premium membership. You can use code PERTH for a 7-day free trial. We're positive 73.5 or 73.31 units in 2025 so far. And also, if you're going through this video and you're looking at these numbers and you're like, oh my God, HeyJive, these numbers are so much different. It's not even worth it. Let me tell you right now, it is worth it, because rarely do we lose by 1 to 5 significant strikes. Rarely. It's very rare. But it does happen. So if you want to get as close as possible as you can get to tailing me on these plays, join the HomoFi Picks Premium membership so that next week when I put the plays in, you can get them as soon as possible. You don't have to wait for this video, because I usually put these plays in on a Monday or a Sunday or a Tuesday. Just depends whenever they put the lines out. And once I do that, I send them out to the winnable HomoFi Picks Premium membership group, and they get them and they can put them in. They might move 1 or 2 significant strikes between the time that I put them in and by the time that they can put them in. But that's because I control the DFS market. So whatever I put in, they're going to react to it and they're going to adjust it. But just trust me on this. It's rarely does it ever make a difference if you're losing 1 or 2 significant strikes between what I got and what you got. Rarely does it make a difference. But if you want to give yourself the best chance to do that and not have to wait for this video, that's where you get it in the HomoFi Picks Premium membership, so you can get those DFS plays for free, or for early, not for free, but early. As you can see here, the DFS plays were posted September 22nd. I believe is the 25th. So there's your proof for me sending them out earlier in the week at the lines. And of course, 3 days later, the line's going to be a little bit different. Now, I told you I was going to give you a bonus parlay bet. Here it is. Navajo Sterling on the money line. Alexa Tainora on the money line. Plus 109. Looks great to me. Navajo Sterling probably going to knock out Bellato in my opinion. I think he's a way better striker. I don't think Bellato's going to grapple him, or not going to be able to grapple him either. I think Navajo's just way cleaner. So I think he gets the job done against Bellato. And then Alexa Tainora, I just think she's going to be way more physical than Loma Luke Boonmay. You know, Luke Boonmay might have some moments in the striking where she's catching her, but I think Tainora's pressure, her pace, her physicality, her grappling, her wrestling is just going to be too much 2-leg money line parlay plus 109. Book it. There's your bonus parlay bet of the week. Let's get into the Betr Picks plays to round us out. We got Betr Picks here. If you're going to join now, you new users get a free $10, no deposit needed. And if you are going to deposit, you get a $200 bonus on your first deposit. We're positive 123.10 units on 2-pick entries alone. Let's take a look at those 2-pick entries that we got this week. Loma Luke Boumé lower and Jake Matthews lower paired together. Love both of those. And we got better lines on Betr Picks for those 2-pick entries. That's why we played them there. And then we got Obon Elliott lower than 60.5 paired with Adolfo Bellato. Both better lines than we got on Underdog and Sleeper as well. Lock those in on Betr Picks. If you're in one of these purple states, use code HeyJive. Get your free $10 when you sign up, and you'll get a $200 bonus on your first deposit. Appreciate y'all for watching. If you want to comment on the video, it'd be much appreciated, and you'll give yourself a chance to win a Professor Parlay t-shirt, or you can go to ProfessorParlayShop.com to cop yourself a Professor Parlay tee. Let me know down in the comments as well if you enjoy the DFS only video with the little added bonus bet. I just didn't really feel comfortable giving out 3 of my bets that I have compared to so I'm going to have 10, maybe 10 bets on the card, and I'm going to give you 3. And I don't know. It just doesn't really sit right to me because it's not really a fair sample size. Instead, I'm going to give you every single one of my DFS plays, which I have been doing, and we're just going to have more of an emphasis on that. And I'll throw a little bonus bet in there as well for those guys that like to, throw a little money line parlay bet or something like that in. But appreciate y'all for watching the video. Kind of a different video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel. Till next time, HeyJive Picks.